Hey everyone, and welcome back. If you are new here, then hello, my name is Zoe and this is my YouTube channel. You can probably guess, well you've probably guessed from the thumbnail, but we are creating Kim Kardashian's Met Gala 2019 makeup look. This is the makeup look we are recreating. This is going to be the ginger version of Kim today. Yeah, I'm just really happy with it, so I really hope you like it as well. Let me know if you do down in the comments below. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up as well and subscribe. And if you want to see how we recreated Kim Kardashian's Met Gala makeup look, then keep watching. I've not done my hair like Kim's because I have absolutely no idea how to do that for one. Plus I am pretty ginger and Kim is more dark, so this is going to be the ginger version of Kim's look. So for eyeshadows, I have already just done my eyebrows and I've just put a little bit of the P. Louise base just over my eyelids. So for eyeshadows, I'm only going to use a few. The first one is Frappe, which is from Makeup Geek. I'm going to take Frappe, and because we're doing a spotlight eye, we need to focus on the outer and inner corners more than anything else. So I'm going to start on the outer corner, just sort of tapping it and blending it up. I don't think hers was winged out. It looked a little bit winged out, but not too much. So I'm going to try and sort of concentrate it just mainly on this outer part of the lid. And then onto the inner corner. This spotlight also looked like not straight up. It did look quite on an angle, as if it went from the centre and like up towards the arch of her brow. So that is what I'm going to try and recreate. So again, popping this on the outer lid. So you can see even already there's like a little gap with no product on, which sort of goes diagonally up towards my brow. That's what we want to try and keep. So then right at the very top, I've literally got nothing on my brush. I'm only just very slightly just sort of going over that bit, just so it tapers it off so it's not like a stripe and a stripe. What was your favourite Met Gala makeup look? Mine was Kim's, to be honest. I feel like I liked so many this year because it was just such a different theme. You could like really go all out and crazy with it. Okay, now I'm going to go in with a bronzer, which is one of my favourites to use as like a transition shade, especially when I'm not wearing any makeup. It's the Beached bronzer from Urban Decay, and it's pretty similar to the transition shade we've just used. Just go over the top with this a little bit. It's a slightly more warm undertone. The first one we used has more, it's almost sort of like a pinky brown. Just want to use this just to go over it a little bit. Okay, so don't want to go too much darker than this, so I'm just going to use Cocoa Bear, which is a really warm, like reddish brown. It's not too dark, it's really nice. So again, I'm just going to use the same brush because we're not using like a lot of eyeshadows. So you can get away with using the same brush. And again, I'm literally just sort of going over the very top of where we've just applied the first two. I'm only very lightly pressing it on, mainly sort of into like the very outer and the very inner corners. So I'm happy now I've got that shape. I'm now going to go in with a cream shadow. If you were just using a powder shadow, just like a pressed shadow, you could go back in with some of the P. Louise base just on the centre just to brighten that up a little bit. This is a Revlon Colour Stay cream shadow. It's in the shade 730, and on Kim's picture, her spotlight, let me get it up. Her spotlight looked more of like a silvery goldy shade instead of like a gold. It like really stood out, so I'm going to try and stick to more like silvery tones. See on my finger, so I'm going to use just my finger for this. I always find creams work easier with your finger, so I'm literally just pressing this straight on the top, and with this you are simply going and filling in that gap. That is our cream shadow on. I'm going to go over with a pressed shadow, and then I'm going to use a little bit of a glitter over the top. Mario said that he did use like different size glitters to make the eyes like pop a little bit better. So I'm going to first go in with Crave over the top, which is this shadow from the Huda Beauty palette. I used this palette in my last video, I'll link it up here. So again, I'm going over with my finger and just pressing this over the top. I just felt when it caught the light, it was just really pretty. It like really glistened when the light caught it. Last but not least, we are going to go in with a glitter. So I've found this one in my collection. It's from someone called Bella Cosmetics, which I've not really heard of, but I have used this pigment before. It's in the shade Xi and it's literally like a pure like silver pigment. I'm not going to add a base or anything because I feel like it might just be a little bit tacky anyway, so I don't want to add too much of this. I don't want it to look too like glittery, if you get what I mean. So I'm just going to use a tiny eyeliner brush. This is an old one which I don't use anymore because it's gone a little bit fluffy, so this might be nice and precise for this. And just really lightly, I'm mainly sort of going up the centre because I feel like when it catches the light, that's where you want it to sort of glisten the most. See the difference? Just applying a little bit of glitter compared to that one, it just makes it stand out so much nicer. The one thing I struggle with when it comes to using like pigments and stuff is when to stop. I feel like I could just keep piling on, and that is not what we are going for. Okay, so I'm really happy with that. I'm just going to show you now how to sort of taper them both in together. I'm now going to go back in with Frappe, which was the first one that we used, and I'm just going to dip into that one and Cocoa Bear, and I'm literally just sort of patting over the edge of where the glitter spotlight meets the brown, just to sort of taper them in together, make them look nice and seamless. Okay, so moving on to eyeliner, and I saw that Mario did say he did use a dark brown eyeliner on Kim instead of using a black liner. So we I think just used a dark brown pencil. I'm using Max Teddy because it's the only sort of dark brown that I have. Hopefully it will be dark enough. My inner corners are like a completely different shape to Kim's, so I can't create that like cat eye effect, whereas her tear duct comes quite pointed, so she does always have like a really nice sort of cat eye when she wears a smoky liner, but mine is not like that, so I'm still going to smoke it out, but I probably won't get like the same effect really. I like never do pencil eyeliner on myself, it feels really weird. I either always just do a liquid or a gel if I do liner on my eyes. And then I'm also going to use this to line my waterline, so I'll do that now. Okay, now for mascara, I'll just use the L'Oreal Lash Paradise because that's what I've got on my desk. I'm going to apply my lashes off camera and then I will be back in 1 sec. Okay, so my lashes are on. I've used the Koko lashes and more. I'm pretty sure that that's what these are, but they weren't in the box, so I'm not 100%. I'm pretty sure they are. I'm going to start with base now. I've only got on my moisturiser, and then I did apply some of the MAC strobe cream before I started this video because my skin is so dry. I'm going to use a little bit of the Fenty Beauty Pro Filtr Primer. I absolutely love this at the moment, but I only sort of apply it to the centre of my face and onto my chin, a little bit on my forehead as well, but mainly sort of here where I have like most pores. And then for foundation, I'm going to use an oldie but a goodie today. I'm going to use the L'Oreal True Match. I think this might be a little bit dark for me today, but I can always blend it onto my neck a little bit. And then just so we get a really nice full coverage, I'm going to use a couple of drops of the Cover FX Custom Cover Drops. These are really nice if you want to add like more coverage to your foundation. And then with my beauty blender, I will just dabble that in. I have tanned, but I haven't tanned my face, so I'll just go onto my neck a little bit, and hopefully this will all match together. And then I'll just blend some down onto my neck because it is a little bit too dark for me. Maybe I overestimated how much I tanned. Moving on to concealer, I'm going to use the one I always use, which is the Makeup Revolution C5. I need to pick up some new concealers, but because this one always just works so well for me, I never bother picking up anymore. And then we can brighten up the face with this a little bit as well. And then taking my beauty blender again and then just blending all that in. I always leave my under eyes till last. And then with my under eyes, with the shadow, I will just like sharpen it up a little bit. I don't want it to be really sharp because I feel like hers looked like just nicely blown out. It wasn't sort of too sharp, I don't think. So I'll just sort of blend right close to it. Okay, then I'll just do a little bit of contouring. I'm going to use my favourite contour stick, the Rimmel Insta Duo one. This is the medium shade, and I'll just mainly sort of go just in the hollows and then just around my forehead, maybe a little bit under my chin. Now you can blend it out with your sponge, but I just find like using like creams to contour, they always blend out better if you use a brush to sort of buff them out. Then you can just go over with your beauty blender after and just make sure that everything's all blended in nicely. Okay, and then that's when I'll just go back in with my beauty blender, just go over everything, because Kim's makeup always looks perfect, so we need to take extra time to make sure that we do too. So then to set my under eyes, I'm using the Mercier translucent powder, which I always use, so what's new? Kim's makeup look was like a wet makeup, so I'm not going to set all my face. I don't usually anyway, because my skin is just so dry, I don't really need to. But I always need to set my under eyes, and then I do sometimes get a little bit shiny light down the centre of my face, so I always set them areas anyway. And you can bake as well if you want to. I'm sure that Kim baked because she's the queen of baking, but my skin is so dry I can't really bake. But I think if I did, I'd maybe need to use like a different powder or something, because I feel like I would look like a shriveled up prune after. And then for bronzer, I'm going to use, well, I'll start off using the same as before, which was the baked bronzer from Urban Decay. Kim's makeup look was really bronzed, but obviously I figured out that I'm not actually as tanned as I think I am, so maybe I shouldn't be applying too much bronzer today. I do like to go like onto my cheeks with my bronzer as well, because I don't really like applying too much blush really. And then because I can't contour my nose, I literally just like go down each side with my bronzer. And then for blush, I think she was wearing more of like a pinky. Apparently, I think she was wearing more of a pinky blush, so I'm just going to use Luminoso. So I'm just going to take that and like blend it back into my bronzer. And I'm just going to go in with the Anastasia contour kit. I'm just going to use a little bit of that one on the end. My makeup does always look a bit darker on this side than this side, because I have more lights on this side, so sometimes it can look a little bit uneven, but it's actually not. So I'm going to do the under eyes now, and then I'm going to leave the highlight part to last. To start the eyes, I'm going to go back in with that pencil, which was Max Teddy, and I'm going to use this to line the waterline. So now we can start smoking that out. So I'm going to use Frappe, which was the lightest shade that we went in with, and I'm joining it in this outer corner so it meets the shadow in the very outer corners. And I want to get right into this inner corner, but it's very hard for me. Mario is like the king of the smoky under eye. I'm just going to try and taper that off a little bit underneath so it's not like too harsh of a line. And then I'm also going to go back in with the bronzer, go straight over the top with this. So I think that is pretty much the finished eye. I really, really like it. So let's move on to highlight now. So she had a very like a wet look highlight. So I'm going to do something similar, but something a bit more wearable. The first thing that I'm going to go in with is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. This is in the shade Pearl. This is a liquid highlighter, but you can use this over your foundation. It doesn't move it around. It's really, really nice. And hers again was more of a silvery highlight rather than a gold highlight, from the top of my brow even into my temple. And then just with the beauty blender, I'll just try and just pat that in a little bit. So then for powder highlights, I'm going to use one from the Carli Bybel palette, because these are like really blinky highlights. So I'm actually going to use this one right here. I might mix in a little bit of the white if I'm feeling... In fact, yeah, I am. I'm going to mix both of them together, mainly the top one though. Just really buff that in over the top. Going right into my temples as well. So for Kim's lips, she had like a nice outlined like contour lip. It was glossy, and then the centre was sort of like a more natural lip tone. I think it was quite like a fleshy tone. So the first thing that I'm going to do is line with this pencil. This is from Primark and it came in a set, but I'm not sure which set it came in. And I do like to overline my lips. And then I'm going to go around the edge with Spice, which is more of like a brownie pencil. And this is like contouring the lip more. Okay, and then I'm just going to dab over some of this, which is the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Cape Town. Again, this is very sort of light and fleshy, mainly to the centre, and then I want to blend it out. And her look was more glossy, so I'm just going to take a little bit of this gloss from Primark. I'm really not sure what this is called. Mainly over the centre again. And then just to finish that off, I'm just going to spray my face with some primer water. This is from Primark. Okay guys, so that completes my Kim Kardashian Met Gala 2019 makeup tutorial. I really hope you liked it. Let me know if you did down in the comments below, and please give it a big thumbs up as well and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!